tensions mount in the Middle East, but big victory for Indian diplomacy. Iran has said Indian representatives will soon be allowed to meet the Indian crew members of MSC Ares. The assurance came during Sjaisankar's talk with his Iranian counterpart, when India raised the issue of 17 Indians on MSC Ares detained by Iran. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has said that they are still on high alert just a day after Iran fired over 300 drones and missiles at Israel in its first ever direct attack. The United Nations chaired an emergency meeting on Sunday where a war of words erupted as Israel and Iran faced each other over the recent attack. Israel lashed out at Iran, alleging that Iran for years has funded and trained terror proxies, adding that Israel will defend itself. Hitting back, Iran said its attack only targeted military facilities of Israel, adding that the operation was carried out in self-defense after Israel attacked the premises of Iran's diplomats on April 1st. Meanwhile, UN chief urged maximum restraint from Israel at the emergency meeting.
It's not for me to talk about individual candidates. I think every candidate has a record. I think at a time of election, people look at the record. And by the way, every party has a record. So if a party actually opposes the abrogation of 370, but doesn't have the courage to mention it in its manifesto, if a party which is soft on terrorism, which actually said after 26/11 happened, we weighed the plus and minus and decided best thing is not to attack, because not to attack was better policy than to attack. So if you have a weak record on Kashmir, if you have a weak record on counter-terrorism, then naturally the selections would reflect what is the core thinking of the party.
We are still on high alert and assessing the situation. Over the last few hours, we approved operational plans for both offensive and defensive action.
The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran carried out a series of military strikes on Israeli military objectives with dozens of missiles and drones. Iran's operation was entirely in the exercise of Iran's inherent right to self-defense as outlined in Article 51 of the Charter of the United Nations and recognized by international law. This concluded action was necessary and proportionate. It was precise and only targeted military objectives and carried out carefully to minimize the potential for escalation and prevent civilian harm.